but these 7 things are the things that our culture is really made up of. And so we hire based upon this list. It's just a little bit, I'm not going to list out our 7 core values here, but these are the expressions. I'm going to kind of term out the things these are the actions we look for within our who's. So this is how we hire. Has nothing to do with their resume or, school they went to or anything else. And this is how we determine whether somebody stays on the bus as well. And so first, mission and impact driven over money, ego, and status. You can look at the 2 sides of the coin there. If somebody is clearly, unequivocally about impact, they fit well on our team. If they're even a little bit about, I just want to peacock and be important and have status and, you don't belong here. Get on here. And the moment, if you somehow snuck in and sold us on being mission impact driven, you can always find out people who are narcissistic, ego driven, money driven. They're gone. Then they need to be gone. The day you think they might be, they're gone. And we've all learned, it's easy for me to say that teaching this session, and I've screwed it up 18 times over, right? Where you're like, well, maybe they're a good person. They're not. All right, number 2. So always stay humble and hungry to continually learn. Probably the words here you can put in your notes, such a growth-oriented organization. And I know that's a cliche term, but no one gets to stay comfortable on Team PwC because we're not happy, joyful, and fulfilled. We attract and retain the sort of people on our team who are only in their best place if they're staying humble and growing. Number 3, always ready to accept responsibility. No blaming, no pointing fingers, no complaining, no victim mentality. So that list is almost kind of like the things not to do as it is to do. But we really have a culture of, hey, I may not have directly caused problem A, but I already have a solution and it's, 80% done. That's the kind of reports I want. If somebody comes and they sit in a team meeting or a one-on-one and it's all complaining and it's all blaming, that is their last team meeting and their last one-on-one. Number 4, situational awareness. My team's going to laugh at this one that I bring it up. But let's just, so Addison, just starting this on my 6-year, she just got her license yesterday. So this is actually not part of her driving training. But once you're a master driver, right, and you're not driving a Prius and all these things, and so if you're going up to an intersection and there's 2 lanes, even if it's going to merge right after, who cares? And there's 5 cars in the left to the stoplight and the right lane is open and you can smoke them off the line, that's called situational awareness. You can get there faster and you got things to do, so you take it. That's one example out of thousands of examples of situational awareness. Jackie's like, oh goodness, this guy. Just can't give up on this situational awareness thing. In the practice, we're looking for them to always be eyes up, heart on, and say, what's best in this situation? And to be able to make that interpretation and decision on their own. And the reason that our team can have such good situational awareness and be empowered to make decisions, because delegating actions, easy. Anybody can do it. Delegating decisions, hard, and few of us do it. And so when you delegate decision-making, well, then that person needs to be able to read the situation and make the best decision. So probably a better term for that, even though I'll never give up on situational awareness, is just decision-making. So you teach your team, hey, here's the decision-making matrix that I run everything through. That can be taught. And now they can make decisions like you do. And if there's any questions on the decision-making matrix and kind of that whole thing, I've had some good chats with a few of the members here the last few weeks on that. And I want to shut up and get to the Q&A. 5 on our culture is fun and joy. If you're not having fun and you're not joyful, and I wrote on here too, I was maybe not going to say it all, and then sarcasm. If you don't have a good dose of sarcasm and satire to you, you may not have so much fun on our ship. 6 and 7, kind of the same thing. I just glean out chiropractic, neurologically focused, chiropractic obsessed. This is one, I'm going to say this one, and it's unfortunately, it's going to raise a red flag for some of you with your team members. Whatever your product is, every single one of your team members needs to be oozing out of their eyeballs obsessed with that. If they are even lukewarm about the product you deliver, then the way with which they deliver it will be lukewarm at best. And that is a non-negotiable. So our whole team are just chiropractic evangelists. I mean, they will literally, Jackie will drive to the behavioral hospital and frickin', talk to parents in the parking lot about the next Perfect Storm workshop. Like, it is just this absolute obsession. And then health, fitness, faith. That's all part of it, right? Do we live that out? And I'll close this last part, that last element, on a story. When many, many years ago, actually it is going back a good bit, I was asked to go back to Palmer College of Chiropractic in Davenport and give the commencement address, right? And pretty important deal. And I was pretty excited about it and pretty nervous about it. And they, you're down at Lyceum Hall and you're in the back with all the board members and everybody else, and you're wearing the cap and the gown and all that. And I'm going through my notes, and it's like 15 to 20 minutes of killing time back there with the leaders of that school at that time. And it broke my heart, because what I heard for those 15 to 20 minutes was they were all bragging to each other about how none of their kids, they were all at a certain stage of life where their kids are going to college or whatnot and choosing their career. They were literally bragging that none of them chose chiropractic. And I could not believe what I was listening to. So that means the leaders who would express the culture did not want their kids to go to that college. How's that going to play out? Well, that's why, if you know chiropractic at all right now, Life University, where the leaders are chiropractic obsessed, is on fire, growing at a rate far above every other school. And it's not, do they have that different of a curriculum or a campus? Actually, Palmer's campus is freaking awesome. No, it's not. It's the culture of the two different schools today is vividly different. And one has such a strong, vitalistic, unbelievably strong culture through their leadership that you can't help but see it, smell it, taste it, want it, and people just flock there. And the others has gone as blah as it gets, and that's where it is. And the final example from it is a couple of years ago, we referred a really tough neurologically intensive case down to another pediatric chiropractor, and I happened to be in the community where this local doctor was now going to take care of this kid, which is our kid, our case, and we treat him like family. And I was at their office, and the front desk CA there, I went there, adjusted him, and was doing a little training with the doc team. And the front desk CA came up to me as I was leaving and said, "Hey, my son had I watched the video about Oliver's story and all this, and my son had a similar start, and here's some things going on." And so my first natural reaction, she's working in this pediatric and family chiropractic office as their front desk CA, first person new patients would talk to and see, and last person they would see. And I said, "Well, how's he doing? How's he responding to the adjustments so far?" And she said, "Oh, he doesn't get adjusted." And I didn't. Those are the sort of situations you don't even know how to respond to when you understand the value of culture like we do in this group. This is the thing that you can actually fully separate yourself from the competition. Our adjustments, we love to, and we will work every single day to say that our adjustments are best in the world. But the margin of it, I think Kyle Grimes can deliver the heat with adjusting, right? So we're teaching all of this to be at a level. Your product is going to be more easily competed with. Your marketing and branding will be copied. Ask us how we know that, okay? What they can't copy is what's in your heart and your soul, and that's your core values and your culture. And so I always go longer than I intend to with my little, TED Talk on this stuff. But if there's one thing that I think you should put more energy and more focus, and all of this is coming through me from Josh, Dave, Dan, and this crew teaching it to me in a big way over these last couple of years. If there's one thing to 10x down on in this current season where I know most of us are with our businesses, it's probably not that your product needs to be 10 times better. It's probably not that your brand needs to be 10 times better. It probably is that your culture and your team needs to be 10 times better. That's how you'll scale and grow to 10x and 100x in a big way.